Hey everyone, it's Ray from the Horror Syndicate. We are here to finalize our Child's Play franchise, and we are going to be doing Seth's rankings because my computer sucks, and basically all the graphics I made for the show are gone. I'm not sure what's going on with my computer, other than the fact that it's getting old and it's time for a new computer. So yeah, tonight we'll it probably won't be a very long episode. We're gonna go through Seth's rankings. I'm sorry again that I don't have any graphics. Um, I can put up the list by, and here's a spoiler. This number eight is that one because it's terrible. It's everybody's least favorite, I think. Anyway, so we'll do that tonight. And sorry, missed last week. I've had a hell of a bad spell of depression. If anybody doesn't know, I lost my wife in 2017, and every time the time of year comes around when she passed, I get extremely depressed. I'm still not out of my funk. I got a bad headache, and my computer's acting like an asshole. I did everything right, and they indicted me. So Sean Sheridan was kind enough to share his ranking. Oh wow, that's weird. Um, Nobody's ranking is wrong. Huh? Seth sick or dead? And he's here. We always start with me, and then I bring on Seth, and here he is. Hi, Seth.
Hey, pal.
So we're gonna go through your Child's Play films, but before that, tell Sean that you're not sick or dead or what. Maybe sick in the head.
Well, I was sick, and then I died, and then I came back, and I started eating human flesh and
He is returned.
brains, and then the more brains I returned from the living dead. Um, I could feel myself rot.
I probably need to watch that. I need something to bring my spirits up. Nothing has worked. It's been terrible like 3 weeks now. But anyway, we'll just get through this. We are doing these are gonna be Seth's rankings. I don't who cares about mine? They're not very far off from Seth's. I'll mention where things are on my list, and then we'll move on after that to Hellraiser next week. We're here on a Tuesday also because tomorrow I got tickets to go see Cemetery Man, aka Delamorte Delamore, aka Demons 7, I think. Or no, Demons 95. Yes. So it's hard to miss out on a movie like that on the big screen. So I'm not going to miss out on that. And then April 13th, Dawn of the Dead is playing at the St. Alamo Draft House. So I will be there for that. But I think that's on like a Saturday or something like that. So anyway, Seth, why
That's
don't
awesome.
you? Yeah. Well, actually, it's fun. The guy I'm going with, Ron, he writes for the Horror Syndicate. His daughter and my daughter both love Dawn of the Dead, so we're taking them to go see Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, of course. Not sure what cut it's going to be though, because the people who put on these shows tend to show like we saw Reanimator, and it was the integral cut, which is the worst cut in my opinion, and because it's got less Barbara Crampton boobs. So anyway, my head hurts. Um, Seth, why don't you inform the gentle viewers on your passion for the Child's Play franchise?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Child's Play franchise was something that I basically grew up on. I was kind of like around the right age when, at least when 2 and 3 came out, and I had a My Buddy doll, and they're always on TV, so I was always watching those movies, and I've been a fan ever since, and um, I've trashed the show a lot on this show, but I've stuck through the show because I'm that big of a fan.
Is the show almost over,
The
or
second
the
half of
season
season
anyway?
three, the second half of season
Yeah.
three premieres in April.
April. Okay. How many episodes is that going to be?
I think it's just another 4 episodes. Because I think they shot most of the season before the strikes, and then they had to wait and do, I think, the remainder after.
Well, if the show ever ends, I'll give it a shot. All right. So what Seth is going to do is we're going to go through his list, and he's going to give us an explanation on why it is where it is. And I actually have his slash score written down, so I can have that to kind of further the point uh, of why this is. His slash scores are pretty accurate compared to his actual ranking. Of course, we'll be doing those again on next week when we're back on Wednesday. And Hellraiser. Has she gotten worse? I never thought Jennifer Tilly was particularly a good actress. Uh, she has really nice assets on her chest.
Yeah.
So anyway, Seth, if you're ready, we can start with your number 8 pick, which is Seed of Chucky, which you gave a
Seed of Chucky.
39%. Go ahead.
Yeah, Seed of Chucky is obviously my least favorite of the series. While there are things in it that do genuinely make me laugh, I think overall it looks and feels like a TV movie. And I just don't like it leaning as far as it did into the comedy side. I kind of prefer the more like, like 1 through 3 level where, it there's a sense of humor in there, but they're primarily horror films. And I think Seed just went a little too far in the wrong direction for me as a fan of the series. And it's one that I very rarely will ever watch, and even if I go through a marathon of the series, I think the last time I did a marathon of them, I skipped right to Curse. So yeah, Seed is my least favorite.
I was gonna say I feel like you can do that, skip right over and go to Curse because it's that bad in my opinion. I don't think it's any good. So that's just my opinion on Seed. I think it's the worst. You think it's the worst. You gave it the 39%. I gave it a 32%. Fantastic. That's even better. So next up is your number 7 pick, which is Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, so I do like Bride. I think it's a fun movie. It's it's fairly fast paced. I think it's visually good as far as direction goes from Ronnie Yu. But it is one that I can watch. It's one that I can enjoy. The only reason why it's still on the list is, again, because it did lean a little too heavy into the comedy side. Not quite as heavy as Seed, but it was getting to that point. And then there's a couple minor issues that I have with it as far as all of a sudden there's this amulet, and it just, I don't know, that part seemed goofy. I do like the idea of it being a road movie. I do like, yeah, it wasn't at all, and it was ridiculous too. They show like a photo of Charles Lee Ray's dead body, and he has the amulet on. Like it wasn't there. And if that's the case, why didn't he just go for that instead of trying to chase Andy down for all those years? But I do like it being a road movie. I do like the idea of too goofy at times, and I just prefer the ones that are, I think, a slightly more serious than this one. So I don't hate it, but it's down here for that particular reason.
Yeah, I mean, this and then Seed made me abandon the franchise for a long time. As we know, I'm not a fan of this one or Seed. My score on this one for Bride was 53%. That was a big difference between me and you on that. But
Yeah.
also a big difference from Seed. We were both in the 30s on Seed. Next up
Yeah.
is number 6, Child's Play 2019. Yeah.
Yeah. Child's Play 2019 is a film where I'm mixed on, where I think it's a good film in its own right, and I felt like it shouldn't have been called Child's Play. In Chucky,
No.
it could have just been this new AI killer doll thing, because there's big differences. So I feel like that kind of hurt it, trying to take the Child's Play name and the brand recognition, when it could have just easily been its own new IP. And because it had good ideas. I mean, I really do like the idea of this version of Chucky killing to protect Andy. I thought that would have been. I mean, just imagine if this was called something else, and that was the story of this AI thing killing to protect this kid. I think that would have been really cool. And then, so I do like this one. I think as a movie, it's fine, and it does. It's fairly well made. I don't like P, and I don't like the third act of the movie. Everything that takes place in the toy store. That's where it just really lost me. But otherwise, it's a decent movie. It's just I just wish it wasn't called Child's Play. I wish it wasn't part of this.
Yeah, and of course they'd have to change the look of the doll. I like this one for the most part. I thought it was a fun theatrical experience. 68% for me on this one, but overall, not terrible. It's not my favorite. That's about. I think it's. It might be in the same place on my ranking here at 6. Um, it's a pretty decent movie overall. It's like you said on Bride. It's not one that I reach for very often. So, mostly just reach for the lotion. If you know what I mean. So coming in at number 5 is Cult of Chucky, which was our last episode, our most recent episode, I should say.
Yeah. So number 5 is Cult. It just barely gets edged out by what's at my number 4. They're pretty much neck and neck with me, this one and what's going to be my number 4 pick. I like Cult a lot.
So that's glitching right now, apparently. Sorry, everyone. I've had technical problems all night myself. Let's take a quick pause, and we'll come back to that. Colt is a train wreck. It had potential as a mess. I agree it had a lot of potential. I wouldn't call it a train wreck, though. One thing I'd like is if you are watching, please hit the like button. Follow us on Facebook. Right now, we are doing the March Madness brackets, and we're on the 70s portion of the brackets, and which gives us now 88 movies that we're covering. And then next, after the 70s, we'll move into the 1990s and then the 2000s. The winner of the 80s bracket is John Carpenter's The Thing. And I'm sure John Carpenter's Halloween will win the 70s bracket. Not sure about the 90s though. That's gonna be that one's gonna be different because it could be Scream, it could be Candyman, who knows? And then in the 2000s bracket, I have no idea. So please follow us on Facebook, hit the like button, and if you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button now. Help us out a little bit. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. That helps us out immensely. Also, hitting the like button helps us out. So now that I've done that, Seth, are you back with me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I decided to do a little commercial.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I realized like halfway as I was speaking that must have been frozen or something.
Yeah, so Cult of Chucky, you didn't really get to say much because you're freezed up, but go ahead. Damn it. Are you frozen again? Seth, you there? Well, I can tell you that I like Cult of Chucky just fine. I don't think it's a mess.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you, yeah. Are you okay?
Okay. I can't wait to get it. Cult of Chucky, yeah. I like the set in. I like I like some of the kills in there, some of the effects. The only reason why this is at number 5 is because there's a couple things that I don't. Enough in it.
I think, yeah, I agree with you on the not enough Andy. I also think, and I'll say this every time.
I kind of felt like it was initially being set up. The thing I didn't like in it is the dialogue in the opening scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. There's not enough Andy, but I also think there's a missed opportunity stemming from the end of 3. Instead of using the stupid book, they should have made it, all the blood, all of Chucky's blood mixing in with the plastic, rubber, whatever it is. You know what I mean? That should have been the way that there were multiple dolls. So yeah. Anyway, that's just what I think. Coming in at number 4, speaking of, for Seth, is Child's Play 3, which I like quite a bit. I'm not a giant fan of this one, but I'm fan enough.
Yeah, I mean, I really did Child's Play 3. I mean, again, I grew up with the first 3, and it's definitely inferior to the first 2, but I think there's some with I like the military school setting. Full Metal Jacket on TV while I was writing the script, and he just decided to take some.
Did you write the script in one day?
Out of it.
Seth, I don't know if you're having really, really bad problems today. It's like you're cutting in and out every other word. I'm not sure really what to do about that. So I mean, I can just go through everything and be done with it, or you can try to come back on in a second. That's up to you. Let me know, because it's like we're missing like almost everything you're saying. So just let me know what you want me to do. That could be a big reason I like Child's Play 3 so much is the nostalgia. Because I do watch it and get the I don't know. I liked it when I was a kid. So is that the nostalgia you're talking about? Because I don't like when I watch it think, oh man, this is giving me the warm and fuzzies, from because I was a child when I saw this. Uh, it's I don't know. I think I think Child's Play 3 is kind of underrated, but not by our followers because our followers gave it a pretty stout score, and I don't think it's I don't know. I think people like it more than people hate it, which is a good thing. Seth did pass on. Pass on. Jeez, he did leave for the moment. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. Um, it's been one of those kind of days. It seems like nothing's been going right, and I'm in a bad mood as it is. Mostly because what I said before. I'm trying to get my laptop going. My laptop was all messed up. It is old. I've had it since 2014. So to be fair, it it probably needs to be replaced. Considering I'm doing a diagnostic check on my computer now. I don't know why it would be giving me so much guff. It usually doesn't. But anyway, Seth is seemingly back. So let's find out. Seth, are you back?
Yes, I think what I'm going to do when I get my new computer is I'm going to back everything up from this laptop,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm going to take the laptop out in the yard, and I'm going to reenact the scene from Office
Office
Space with
Space.
the
Yeah.
printer.
Or you could just back everything up on your new computer and then take this outside and back up your car over it. One of the two. Whatever's most efficient. All right. So can you? Is it good or is it still acting funky? Oh, good. Now we have no cameras. What a pain in the ass. Can you hear me at least?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We both need new computers, my friend. Do you have anything else you want to say about this one?
Right?
Yeah. No.
No, to be honest with you, I don't know how much of what I said got through, so we'll just move on. I like it. We'll just say that.
Okay. You sound better already, but I don't know. I don't know if that does anything for you. So coming in at number 3 on Seth's list is Curse of Chucky. Oh, wrong. Seth, are you there? Okay. Curse of Chucky was a return of form. I like it quite a bit. It's one of the better entries into the franchise, and definitely worth being in this spot. And it's probably in this spot for me too. To be honest, I don't remember my ranking overall, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty close. What is that? Oh, the camera's on the stupid Chromebook. Well, this has been a disaster tonight. This has just been a complete disaster. Uh, this the show in general has been kind of a disaster. My shit's not working. Your shit's not working. We can't. How long does it take to get your fucking taxes back anyway? Like I filed mine almost 2 weeks ago and I haven't gotten a goddamn thing back. How long does it take? I was just checking on my status just
Usually
now
takes
because
like
you mentioned it.
I think it usually takes me like 3 weeks.
Okay, that makes
But
me
I was
feel a little
waiting
bit
on like
better.
one form that never came in the mail, so I had to call and get it sent. So, but yeah, dude, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, no
this
doubt,
shit's
man.
driving me nuts. You know, I
Did you
can't.
find a
We haven't even
computer
been
yet?
on for a half hour, and I've been freezing up.
Yeah, I mean, our computers just aren't meant for streaming, I guess.
I found one online, specifically for like streaming
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
How much was it? Or is it? Yeah.
I don't recall. I looked like not last week, but the week before after having some issues. Um, and I saved it to my Amazon card, but I don't recall.
Was it less than $500?
I'm hoping at least it's a problem my computer, not whatever the fuck, you know.
I was originally thought it was your internet, but who knows? I mean, you can stream stuff on TV, and I'm sure fine. And
Exactly. I have no issue with anything else. Like you know, if I'm like on my phone, like I have no issue. But it's just like with my computer. At least when we do like live streams, I mean, I could be on fucking YouTube or whatever and wouldn't have any connection issues. So that's why I think it's maybe something to do with I don't know, with the stream part of it. I don't know. I'm hoping getting a PC will fix all that shit.
how much was the one you found?
I'm no tech guy, so I have no fucking clue.
Neither am I.
I don't recall. I'd have to look at my Amazon card. I have my phone charging right now, so I don't have it in front of me.
Send me a link,
I'll
will
send
ya?
you the link.
Yeah, please do, because I'm fucking done with this shit. I can't even get my fucking comic book writing done that I need to get done, and I need to get something
I'm
done
behind on that too.
Like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, anyway, so Curse of Chucky, can you try to say a few things?
Yeah, so yeah, Curse of Chucky is a film that totally restored my faith in the franchise. It made me, you know, happy to be a fan again. It made me excited to be a fan again because see really kind of puts a lot of doubt in my mind, and I think that in that original continuity, despite Freddy's Dead being a piece of ass. So
A piece of ass, huh?
I didn't mean
Not,
to say it like that, but you know, it is what it is.
not a piece of
Fuck
ass I'd
me.
like to, you know,
Yeah,
deal
no,
with.
I meant to say piece of shit, but I said ass for some reason.
Maybe you want to hit the skins. I don't know.
But you know,
You sick bastard.
it's one of those fucking nights. So I'll
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah, have one for me.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Yeah, it's. I guess. Oh, I know some people are getting theirs. There's some. I work for a bank, and I keep seeing them pop up in people's accounts. So hopefully, I did mine on the 27th. I'd love to get it back in the next 2 weeks. I'm not like really worried about it, but how nice would it be to come on the show and have both of our bright, smiling faces,
Yeah.
doing our thing. Um,
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to say it. Return to form for the Child's Play movies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Damian Sweeney ditched the comedy side. He went
Hmm.
back to being straight horror, and he had a in my opinion, or we brought back to his horror roots. I thought that's great. So it's
Yeah, agreed. Coming in at your number two is the first movie, which is my number one. And I think it's still okay to be in the number two spot because my slash score was higher for two than it was for one. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, no. You there? Hopefully, we'll have this problem resolved with new computers here directly because we need them. This fucking thing, it's a piece of shit. Don't save. Get out of here. Can you say anything about the first movie and why it's number two?
yeah, I love. Yep, I love the first movie from. I love the director Tom Holland 1.0. Um, I think it's just a really fin. Mrs. Barkley's arms. It's just I think it's just a good movie, and it's my second favorite in the series, but just barely. I think it's really really good, and it's childhood favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's definitely got some very memorable moments in this one. Uh, the reveal scene to Annie's mom
Yeah.
is one of the best moments in the franchise, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Great, great, great moment. And then,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then, yeah, there's down to the bum in the alley. Aunt Maggie's a bitch. There's so many reasons why the first movie is so good. Um, but yeah, Tom Holland is a great director, and he can do a backflip in a Spider-Man suit. That's how special. Anyway, yeah, Child's Play one. Although, if I remember correctly, Child's Play one got an early exit out of the '80s bracket. So maybe we're wrong. By the way, how's the bracket going for you? Okay. Yeah.
How's the what?
The bracket going for you?
Oh well, my favorite horror film of all time got knocked off by The Lost Boys, so I
Hmm.
did the angry emoji out of spite.
But but John Carpenter's a thing.
Those are some really good matchups, man.
I made it tough this
Yeah,
year. Made it the '70s brackets just getting ready to get tougher. Day two because the bad ones are
those
out.
are some really good matchups. So it's like I saw the one that you put up earlier today. Yeah, the one you put up earlier about the Invasion of the Body Snatchers
And
versus the
crazies. Yeah.
Crazies. I haven't been able to decide on that one yet. Romero films versus
it almost doesn't matter because nobody. This is the thing. I'm keeping them all secret.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is another one of my favorite films of all time. One of my favorite remakes of all time.
Winner goes against Dawn of the Dead, so almost doesn't matter. Yeah, yeah. So I took our 5-star scores and put them in order, and so number 1 was Alien from the 70s, and then there's 24. But then I put the top 8 aside because we only had 24. And so, like, the winner of each of the first round brackets goes against one of the top 8, and it did it by score. And just so happens that the Crazies could have gone up against Dawn of the Dead, but it's probably gonna be Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's the one I remember because I was like, oh, good, Romero versus Romero potentially. Yeah. So, yeah, and I got one of them already set for tomorrow, and I think it's the Amityville Horror versus Jaws, and then Zombie versus.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, I know. I love Amityville Horror though, and then Zombie versus Alien. So it's going to get tougher as we move along. But I do think John Carpenter's Halloween will prevail at the 70s bracket, and the Thing won the 80s bracket. And the 90s and the 2000s are kind of a crapshoot. I have no idea what's going to win. I keep thinking Scream for the 90s, but I know there's something else in there that should knock Scream out. But we'll see. And then the 2000s, same thing. I have no clue. I don't want it to be Army of Darkness, but yeah, it could be. But Evil Dead didn't make it far. Neither one of them did in the 80s bracket. So, yeah, Evil Dead 2 got beaten out by The Thing. I think they both did, actually. I have to look again, but I'm almost so certain. But The Shining lost to A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I was surprised by. Because I love A Nightmare on Elm Street and everything, but The Shining is one of those that is, I feel like it's universally loved. And the Friday the 13th movies, you get, and I didn't do it on purpose, but Jason Lives versus the Final Chapter. Then it went into. Part 2 actually made it further than both of those, oddly enough. Strength of bracket, I think, is what it has to do with.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not making brackets until we get to the Elite Eight because I want everything to be a surprise. Do what?
Who won Final Chapter versus Jason Lives?
You know who won.
Do I?
Yeah. You know who won. It lost to the Lost Boys. So Final Chapter 1, it went up against the Lost Boys, and it got 7,000 votes, by the way. Final Chapter versus Lost Boys, and Lost Boys annihilated it. Final Chapter. And then it went on to beat An American Werewolf in London because people just love that movie. I mean, I like The Lost Boys. It's not better than American Werewolf in London, though.
Yeah.
It was close, though. When I calculated the votes, I had to do it because it was the yesterday morning, I think. And I woke up because I give it till the end of the day. It was 368 to 364 was the vote. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That was
and more people have voted since then, but 428 to 400 the gap got wider. But yeah, it's been fun. I think the people
in favor of the Lost Boys.
Huh? What happened?
In favor of the Lost Boys?
Yeah, Lost Boys won.
I asked if it was in favor of the Lost Boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It didn't change. The Lost Boys, the gap got bigger. It went from 368 to 364 or whatever to 428 to 400. So the gap got bigger, unfortunately. But anyway, that's okay. We're all having fun here. Hopefully, I am. I've enjoyed it. It's been the one thing I've enjoyed with this last week. Moving on to number one, finally, if you haven't guessed it, it's Child's Play 2. Agreed. Oh, so your number one is Child's Play 2. Why? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still having issues. Yeah, Child's Play 2 is my favorite Child's Play film. I absolutely love and adore this one. This has always been my favorite since I was a kid. I love the way it's shot. Uh, I love the story of it. It's just I think this one is a lot of fun, and this is definitely my go-to Child's Play film. It's got a great third act in the toy factory. I like the whole thing with I like the the relationship between Andy and Kyle. I like the whole thing with Andy going into a foster home. Yeah, Child's Play 2, and I think the effects are better too in this one in comparison to the first one. And that's not a slam on the first one. I think the first one's still fantastic, but they really upped their game with the effects for this film, and it's got the best score I think out of the entire franchise, if you ask me. So yeah, Child's Play 2 is my favorite one, and just want to hopefully get that said before I freeze up again.
You got everything out. That's fantastic. I don't think there's anything wrong
Excellent.
with Child's Play. With Child's Play being the best of the franchise, and we know it's going to happen with Seth because, I mean, for God's sakes, he is sequel Seth. But yeah,
true.
hopefully, I'll tell you, I'm tempted to wait until you get your laptop situation or your computer situation figured out. How long do you think it'll be before you get your taxes back?
I don't know. I just barely got in the last form that I needed, and my dad does my taxes for me, so I'm just waiting on him to get them done. So it'll be a couple weeks, but I have some money now, so if I know that they're getting done, I might take the chance. But I don't know. I gotta kind of take a look at some stuff and figure out if I can take that chance.
Look at them finances, yeah.
But
understandable.
Yeah, just my mortgage is top priority.
Well, you don't need to live anywhere. Just joking for anybody who heard that. Okay.
Yeah, fuck this house.
Yeah.
Just live on the street.
Live on the street. I'll do the podcast from the corner. Hopefully everything will be good and we'll be able to do the show without a problem. Don't forget tomorrow, everybody who made it through this, more 70s brackets, and I believe Friday or Saturday we'll be starting the 90s bracket. I want to make sure this is all done before March 31st. Is there a 31st in March? Yes, March 31st. Because I don't want to take it over into April. But anything you want to say before we go, or try to say before we go, Seth?
Just Evil Dies Tonight.
Fantastic. Okay. Evil dies tonight, but love lives today. Is that what they say? I don't remember. Anyway, my camera's here, by the way. My screen's here. Just that's why I keep looking over here if anybody's wondering. All right. The best Child's Play. I had the remake 1 and 2, but okay. Sean, thanks for tuning in and bearing with us. Everybody who does watch this, thanks for bearing with us. Things have been better before on the show. Hopefully they will be better next week. when we start Hellraiser. If we don't, we'll see how Sunday goes. And I don't, are we doing a show on Sunday, or was that last
What's the
Sunday?
topic?
I have no
I
fucking
mean, I'm
clue, man. Okay, well, we'll figure something out. There's been like almost no chatter in the group in the last week or so, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, everybody have a great night. We'll see you next time. And sorry.